Okay, the first question is, for a symmetrical T network, the short circuit impedance is 210 ohm and the open circuit impedance is 250 ohm. Then the total series of impedance is equal to dash. So we are given the short circuit impedance is equal to 210 ohm and the open circuit impedance is rho C is equal to 250 ohm. Okay, and we are asked to find out the total series of impedance. So Z1 is asked. So we have the equation, that is Z1 by 2 is equal to ZOC into 1 minus root of 1 minus ZSC upon ZOC. Okay, ZOC. So this should be equal to 250 into 1 minus root of 1 minus 210 upon 250. Okay, so that should be equal to 250 1 minus square root of 1 minus 210 upon 250. So that is value to be equal to 150. Okay, so for a T network we have two elements along the series arm. So each one of these have impedance Z1 by 2 like that, and the shunt element will have an impedance Z2. So the total series of impedance equals Z1, so that will be equal to twice 150. Okay, so that will be equal to 300 ohm. So that's the correct answer. Now second question is, for a symmetrical T network, the short circuit impedance is 210 ohm and the open circuit impedance is 250 ohm. Okay, and the total shunt arm impedance is equal to. So we are asked what is Z2. We are given ZAC is equal to 210 ohm and ZOC is equal to 250 ohm. So we have the expression Z2 is equal to ZOC root of 1 minus ZSC upon ZOC. So that will be equal to 250 root of 1 minus 210 upon 250. So that will be equal to 250 root of 1 minus 210 upon 250. So that is equal to 100 ohm. Okay, so that's the correct answer for this. Okay, the third question is, for a symmetrical pi network, the short circuit impedance is 111.11 ohm. Okay, so we are given ZAC is equal to 111.11 ohm and the open circuit impedance is 138.46 ohm. So ZOC is equal to 138.46 ohm. then the total series arm impedance is equal to dash. So we are asked what is Z1, the total series arm impedance. So we have the pi network like this. So we have only one series arm impedance Z1 and two shunt arm impedances, each having impedances twice Z2. Okay, now this could be represented by its equivalent admittance network as follows. So we can label the series admittance as Y1 and the shunt admittances as Y2 by 2 and Y2 by 2. Okay, so the expression for Y1 is equal to YAC root of 1 minus YOC by YAC. Okay. So what is YAC? YAC is, so what is ZAC? ZAC is actually 1 by YAC. So YAC is 1 by ZAC. Similarly, ZOC is 1 by YOC. So YOC is inverse of ZOC. Okay. So YAC is actually equal to 1 by ZSC and YOC is equal to 1 by ZOC. Similarly, Y1 is equal to 1 by Z1. So we can substitute YAC as 1 by 111.11 root of 1 minus YOC by YAC. So that will be equal to 1 by 138.46 divided by YAC is 1 by 111.11. So that should be equal to 11.11 root of 1 minus. So we can take the, bring this denominator quantity to the numerator and rewrite this as 111.11 divided by 138.46. So that should be equal to this value. Okay, so this should be equal to 4 into 10 power minus 3. So that is our Y1. So what is Z1? Z1 is 1 by Y1. So that will be inverse of this. So that is 1 divided by, answer is equal to 249.99. So if we approximate to the nearest whole number, so it should be equal to 250. Okay. So Z1 is equal to 250 ohm. So that's the answer for this question. Okay. The next question is, for a symmetrical pi network, the short circuit impedance is 111.11 ohm and the open circuit impedance is 138.46 ohm. Then the total shunt arm impedance is equal to. So we are asked the total shunt arm impedance. So we are asked what is Z2. Okay. So we are given ZAC is equal to 111.11 ohm and ZOC is equal to 138.46 ohm. Now we have derived the expression that Y2 by 2 is equal to YAC into 1 minus root of 1 minus YOC by YAC. Again, YAC is actually 1 by ZSC, and YOC is 1 by ZOC. So this is equal to 1 by 111.11 into 1 minus root of 1 minus YOC is 1 by ZOC, so that is 1 by 138.46 upon 1 by 111.11. So that will be equal to 1 upon 111.11 into 1 minus root of 1 minus 111.11. Just taking this quantity to the numerator, and this will bring to the denominator. So in the denominator we have 138.46. So that is equal to 5 into 10 power minus 3. 5 into 10 power minus 3 ohm inverse. Okay. Now this is our Y2 by 2, but we need Z2. So actually what is Y2? Y2 will be twice of this. So we have 2Z2 is equal to 1 upon Y2 by 2. So that is equal to 1 upon 5 into 10 power minus 3. Okay. So that should be equal to 1 upon answer is equal to 199.99. So that should be equal to 200 ohm. Therefore Z2 is equal to half of this. So that should be equal to 100 ohm. Okay, so that's the correct answer for this. Okay. Now the next question is, for a symmetrical T network, the characteristic impedance is 316.23 ohm. So we are given Z0 T is equal to 316.23 ohm, and the propagation constant gamma is equal to 1.491 ohm. Okay. So these are given. Then we are asked the total series sum impedance of this T network. So we are asked what is Z1, that is the total series sum impedance. So we have derived that a T network could be represented in terms of its characteristic impedance Z0 and its propagation constant gamma. So the series branch elements will be replaced by, so Z1 by 2 will be replaced by equal to Z0 T tan H gamma by 2. This will also be Z1 by 2 is equal to Z0 T tan H gamma by 2. And the shunt arm impedance is Z2 is equal to Z0 T by sin H gamma. So we are asked what is Z1. Okay. So we have the expression Z1 by 2 is equal to Z0 T tan H gamma by 2. So that should be equal to 316.23 tan H 1.491 upon 2. Okay. So that is 316.23 tan h 1.491 upon 2. So that is equal to 200. So this is our Z2 by 2. So this is our Z1 by 2. So what is Z1? It will be twice of 200. So that is equal to 400 ohm. That is the total series of impedance. So that's the answer. Okay, the next question is, for a symmetrical T network, the characteristic impedance is given as 316.23 ohm and propagation constant gamma is given as 1.491 ohm. Okay, then the total shunt arm impedance is equal to, so for a T network, the total shunt arm impedance Z2 is being asked. So in the previous question I had told that the total shunt arm impedance Z2 is given by Z0T upon sin h gamma. So that is equal to 316.23 upon sin h 1.491. So that is 316.23 upon sin h 1.491. So that is equal to 150 ohm. 150 ohm. Okay, so that's the correct answer. So Z2 is equal to 150 ohm. Okay. The next question is, for a symmetrical pi network, the characteristic impedance is given as 153.093 ohm. So Z0 pi is given as 153.093 ohm. And the propagation constant is given as gamma is equal to 1.4254. Actually there is no ohm here. Okay, then the total series arm impedance is equal to dash ohm. So we are asked what is Z1. So for a pi network, the total series arm impedance is Z1, and if the total shunt arm impedance is equal to Z2, so each of these should be equal to twice Z2. This should be twice Z2. This is Z1. So Z1 is equal to Z0 pi sin h gamma, and 2Z2 is Z0 pi by tan h gamma by 2, and 2Z2 is Z0 pi on tan h gamma by 2. So we are asked what is Z1. So Z1 is nothing but Z0 pi sin h gamma. So that is equal to 153.093 sin h gamma is 1.4254. So that should be equal to 153.093 sin h 1.4254. So that is equal to 299.99. So approximating to a whole number, that should be equal to 300 ohm. Okay. So that is our answer. The next question says, for a symmetrical pi network, the characteristic impedance is again Z0 pi is equal to 153.093 ohm. The propagation constant is given as 1.4254. Okay, ohm is not there. Then the total shunt arm impedance is equal to, so we are asked Z2, that is the total shunt arm impedance. So we have written in the previous example, previous question, that 2Z2 is equal to Z0 pi by tan H gamma by 2, right? Okay, so this is equal to 153.093 divided by tan H 1.4254 on 2. So that is equal to 153.093 upon tan H 1.4254 divided by 2. So that is equal to 250. So that is equal to 250 ohm. So 2Z2 is 250 ohm. Therefore Z2 is equal to 250 divided by 2, that is equal to 125 ohm. So that is the correct answer for this question. Okay. The next question says a signal is to be transmitted to a load of 600 ohm through a transmission line. Okay. Then for maximum power transfer, the source impedance should be dash ohm and the characteristic impedance of the transmission line should be dash ohm. Okay. Okay. So we have a transmission line which could be represented by a two-port network. So this is our transmission line to which a load is attached. So this is 600 ohm. So this is given, and on the input side we have a source, say a voltage source having a internal resistance or source resistance, say ZS. So let us say ZG. Okay, and let this voltage be VG, the voltage of the generator, and ZG is the voltage of the ZG is the internal resistance of this voltage source or the generator, and this is the load impedance. So the question is, what should be the value of this source impedance? Also, what should be the characteristic impedance of this transmission line, so that maximum power is transferred to this. So the condition is that we have a load of 600 ohm. So the impedance when looked from here should also be equal to 600 ohm. Okay, so as to ensure that the maximum power is transmitted from the transmission line to the load. Okay, so here we have a 600 ohm. So we are having a transmission line. So this is an example for a symmetrical network. So it means that this network should be a symmetrical network. Okay, so the impedance that we see from this side should also be equal to 600 ohm. So that should be the characteristic impedance of this transmission line. Then when we look from the source to the transmission line, in order to transfer maximum power to the transmission line, the impedance of this source, that is the generator, should also be equal to 600 ohm. So since ZG is the internal impedance of this voltage source, so the answer for this, or the value for this should be equal to 600 ohm, and the characteristic impedance of the transmission line should also be equal to 600 ohm. So the answer is the source impedance should be equal to 600 ohm and the characteristic impedance of the transmission line should also be equal to 600 ohm. So that's the correct answer for this. So the next question is, three symmetrical pi networks of characteristic impedance 10 ohm each are cascaded in between a source of 10 VRMS and load. If the source and load impedances are equal to the characteristic impedances of the network, then the sending end current is okay. So we are having three symmetrical networks. So they are symmetrical pi networks. N1, let us say N1, N2 and N3. So they are cascaded in between. So they are cascaded networks in between a source of 10 VRMS. So we have a source. Also there is a source impedance. Okay. So we have to represent that impedance also. So let Vg be the voltage and Zg be the source impedance, and the load ZL. Okay. So the symmetrical pi networks are having characteristic impedances of 10 ohm each. So Z0 is equal to 10 ohm. Okay, so this is for all the three cascaded networks. So all these are having characteristic impedance Z0 is equal to 10 ohm. Okay, so this is the picture given. Also, it is mentioned that the source and load impedances are equal to the characteristic impedance of the network. So the load and the source impedance. So ZL should also be equal to 10 ohm and Zg should also be equal to 10 ohm. Okay. So Zg is also given as 10 ohm. Then the sending end current is, so we have sending end current here Is, and we have a receiving end current IR at the load end. Okay. But we are asked what is the sending end current Is. So when we look at this network from here, from the input side, what is the impedance that we can see? So from here we can see that ZL, the load impedance, is the characteristic impedance of the N3 network. So the impedance seen from the input side of N3 will also be equal to 10 ohm. So that is reflected to the second port of the N2 network. Since N2 network is also having characteristic impedance as 10 ohm, then the same impedance will be seen at the first port of the N2 network. So this should also be equal to 10 ohm, which will be reflected to the second port of N1 network. So when we look at this network from the source end, the overall impedance of this entire network, the entire network towards the right, will have an impedance of 10 ohm. So what the load sees from here is a total impedance. So we can represent this network like, so this is the voltage source Vg and this is the source impedance Zg. So from here we have our network, that is a cascade network, and it will appear that we are having an impedance, overall impedance of equal to the Z0 pi, so that is equal to 10 ohm, and this Zg is also equal to 10 ohm, and it is given that Vg is equal to 10 Vrms, right? So Zg is equal to 10 ohm. Now you are asked what is the sending end current, Is is to be found out. So we have a 10 voltage source and we have 10 ohm in series with another 10 ohm. So what should be equal to Is? So Is current will be equal to Vg voltage upon Zg plus Z0 pi. So that will be 10 upon Zg is 10 ohm and Z0 pi is also equal to 10 ohm. So that is 10 upon 20, which is nothing but 0.5 ampere. Okay, so that's the correct answer. So next question is, two symmetrical T networks of total series of impedance 30 ohm each and total shunt arm impedance of 20 ohm each are cascaded in between a source of 20 Vrms and load. Okay, so we are having two symmetrical T networks that are cascaded in between a source of so we have the source impedance and the voltage source. Okay, we have the source voltage is equal to 20 Vrms. So if the source and load impedances are equal to the characteristic impedance of the network, so these are say T networks, let me label as N1 and N2. So we are given the total series arm impedance of these T network, Z1 is equal to 30 ohm and the total shunt arm impedance Z2 is equal to 20 ohm for each of these network, and we have a load at the end of this cascaded network. So we have the ZL. Now if the source and load impedances are equal to the characteristic impedance of the network, so ZL is equal to Z0T and Zg is also equal to Z0T. So it is given. Then we are asked what is the sending end current. Okay. So the receiving end we have receiving end current IR, and at the sending end we have the sending end current IS. So we are asked what is IS. Okay. So what is Z0T for the T network? That is equal to Z1 Z2 into 1 plus Z1 upon 4 Z2. Right. So that will be equal to root of 30 into 20 to 1 plus 30 by 4 times 20. So that is equal to square root of 30 into 20 into 1 plus 30 by 4 into 20. That is equal to 28.723 ohm. Now we have Z0 T is equal to 28.723 ohm, right? So again, this Z0 is the characteristic impedance of this network N2. So the impedance seen here will be also equal to 28.723. So that will be the impedance seen at the second port of N1 network. So the total impedance seen from the source end is also equal to 28.723 ohm, right? Also this impedance Zg is also equal to the characteristic impedance of each of these network. So this should be also equal to 28.723 ohm. Okay. So what is the sending end current? So we are asked what is IS. So IS is nothing but the sending end voltage upon the total impedance. So again this network will appear like, so we have a voltage source which is the VG. Okay, we have the voltage source VG. So we have a load impedance Zg and it is attached to the network, and the overall network impedance is equal to 28.723 ohm. Okay, Zg is also equal to 28.723 and Vg is equal to 20 VRMS. So Is is equal to Vg upon Zg plus the ZL. So this is ZL. So this is the current that is going to flow into the network, that is the source current. So that is 20 upon 28.723 plus 28.723. So that should be equal to 20 upon 28.723. Okay, so that is 0.3482. Okay, so that is 0.3482 ampere. That is the correct answer for this question. Okay. The last question is, two symmetrical T networks of total series of impedance 30 ohm each and total shunt arm impedance 20 ohm each are cascaded in between a source of 20 volt RMS and load if the source and load impedances are equal to the characteristic impedance. So this is a similar case. So we can take results from this question. So 30 ohm series and 20 ohm. So for such network, the characteristic impedance is 28.723. So we will use that results. So we have Z1 is equal to 30 ohm and Z2 is equal to 20 ohm. So that we can evaluate Z0 is equal to root of Z1 Z2 into 1 plus Z1 by 4 Z2. So that is equal to 30 into 20 into 1 plus 30 divided by 4 into 20. So we have evaluated this as equal to 28.723 ohm. Okay. Now if the source and load impedances are equal to the characteristic impedance of the network, then the receiving end current. So in this example, so in this question we are asked to find the receiving end current. So the network is the same. So we have a T network which is cascaded with another T network. To which we are attaching a load ZL, which is also equal to the characteristic impedance of this network, that is 28.723 ohm. So, and at the source end we have a source impedance, say ZG, and a voltage source VG. So the value of VG is equal to 20 VRMS and ZG is equal to 28.723 ohm. So we have a source current IS flowing here and a load current IR flowing here at the load end. So we can evaluate the source end current IS is equal to VG upon ZG plus Z0 T. Okay. So that is 20 upon 28.723 plus 28.723. So this we have evaluated the previous example, that is equal to 0.3482. So that is 0.3482 ampere. Now when this current flows through each of these network, what happens is that we will have some attenuation happening in this network. So the attenuation happening in the first network is e power gamma, where gamma is the propagation constant of the first network. Similarly, another, as a signal flows through the next network, we have another attenuation which is also equal to e power gamma. Since both these networks are the same identical T networks, so the total attenuation produced will be equal to e power gamma into e power gamma, which is nothing but e power 2 gamma. Now what is gamma? We have the expression that cos h gamma is equal to 1 plus Z1 by twice Z2, right? So that should be equal to 1 plus Z1 is 30 upon twice into 20. So that is equal to 1 plus 30 divided by 40, that is 1.75. So gamma is nothing but cos h inverse of 1.75, which is equal to cos h inverse of 1.75 is equal to 1.158. So that is 1.158. Okay. Now what is our ratio of sending in current to the receiving in current? So that is the overall e power 2 gamma, right? Overall attenuation that is happening, and we are asked to find IR, the receiving in current. So IR is equal to IS upon e power 2 gamma. So that will be equal to, IS is sending in current is 0.3482 upon e power twice 1.58. 0.158. Okay. So that will be equal to 0.3482 upon e power twice 1.158. That is 0.0343. Okay, so that is 0.0343 ampere. Okay, so that's the answer that is expected. The receiving end current is 0.0343 ampere. Okay. So with that we come to the end of this discussion on quiz number 4. Okay, thank you.